Today's video will cover everything that you need to know to manage your Charles Schwab investments from your phone. The Schwab mobile app is pretty sleek in my opinion, but there are some pretty neat features that are not the easiest to find, and the very first one is right on the home screen. Every time you launch the Schwab app, you'll be prompted to log in. You can enable biometric login to make this process faster. The very first thing that you'll likely see after logging in is the accounts page. Down below, Schwab will list all of the individual accounts you have with them, which could include things like credit cards and checking accounts, but we're going to focus on the investing side of Schwab for the purposes of this video. Now, this is the neat feature that I was talking about that's kind of hidden. This chart up here shows the total balance of all of your Schwab accounts over time. But you'll notice it's only for the last month, which is not very helpful for a long-term investor like me. And if you click on the white space up here, nothing happens. But if you click on the blue part here, this new screen pops up and you can see your total account balance over a ton of different time periods. Exit out of this page to return to the accounts view, then swipe right to see a quick investment summary. And just like before, click on the chart to expand it into a new window. Now, investment income is interesting. This is not the growth of your investments over time, but rather net new income that your investments generate through either dividends or interest. If your money is invested, meaning you've purchased securities like stocks or funds, most of the income on this page will probably come from dividends, which are monthly or quarterly profit distributions that these companies make to their shareholders for investing in their stock. And if you're looking at the current year, Schwab will tell you the investment income you've received year to date, as well as the total year estimation based on the stocks and funds that you currently hold. Back on the accounts page, click on a specific investment account to see the positions you hold in that account and their current market values. So you can see here that in my Roth IRA, I'm only investing in two ETFs, SCHB and SCHF. The middle number represents the current market value of just one share, while the far right number represents the total balance of that fund in my overall portfolio. You can see that I have a small amount of money in my cash and cash investments bucket. This is usually just the cash left over from when I purchase new shares of my ETFs. Back at the top, the gain loss tab is pretty interesting. It shows the lifetime gain or loss of your investments. For example, if the current balance shown on the previous tab is $1,000 and the net gain on this tab shows plus $200, that essentially means that you put in $800 of your own money and that grew in value by $200. Themes are just a creative way to invest offered by Charles Schwab. While the categories are intriguing, I'm not sure I'd recommend them to the average long-term investor. It's ultimately stock picking because Schwab is essentially just presenting you a list of 25 individual stocks that fit in a certain category. And studies show that this approach does not outperform the total market in the long run, generally speaking. Then we've got the history tab, which lists all of the individual transactions for that account. Things like your interest and dividend income, whether those dividends were ultimately reinvested, transfers in from your bank account, and buying and selling activity. Under balances, you'll see a summary of the total cash and security balances in your account. If you have a Roth IRA, you might find this bottom section helpful. It tells you how much you've contributed to your Roth IRA for the current and previous years, so you can see how much you have left to contribute before hitting the max contribution amount, $6,500 in 2023 or $7,000 in 2024. The income tab summarizes the interest and dividends you've earned over a specific time period, which we just saw on the accounts page. But the key difference here is that the income tab is specific to the investment account that you've selected to view this page. But of course, if you have just one Schwab investment account, then these two pages will be identical. Generally, interest will only come from money sitting uninvested. In other words, the line called cash and cash investments on your investment account. And if you keep this amount pretty low, meaning you keep all of your money in investments, you're likely to earn not a ton from interest. Dividends, on the other hand, come from your securities. Certain stocks and funds pay out dividends on a monthly or quarterly basis that then get reinvested back into your portfolio, assuming you turned that setting on when you originally purchased the security. And if you didn't, then that money from the dividends will go back into your cash and cash investments bucket. Then finally, we've got the tile view, which is ultimately just another summary page. There's nothing really new here that's not covered several times by the other tabs. If you have a ton of individual stocks or funds in your portfolio, this section here called Two Biggest Movers quickly shows you which two securities have contributed the most to changes in your account balance recently, up or down. But since I only have 2 funds in my entire portfolio, this is not all that useful to me personally. Alright, so that's everything that you can see for an individual investment account. Click the back arrow to return to the accounts page. Now you probably want to transfer money into your investment account. There's a couple ways to do this on the Schwab app. You can either open the menu on the top left and select Transfer Funds, or back on the accounts page, you can click the transfer button in the middle of the screen. Both options will take you to this page, and the process is very similar to transferring money on Schwab.com. Select the From account, probably your bank account, and the To accounts, probably your investment account, in my case, the Roth IRA. Enter the amount you want to transfer and how often you want to repeat the transfer. Schwab will then give you an estimated timeline for when your transferred funds will be available to invest. And since this is a Roth IRA, I have an additional selection asking me which year I want the money to count towards. Because in a Roth IRA, you're allowed to contribute money for the previous year all the way up until tax day of the following year, which is usually April 15th. And if you don't already have a bank account set up, you can navigate to the External Accounts tab at the top and get that process started. And now that you've transferred money into your account, the next thing that you'll probably want to do is invest it. Remember, just contributing money to something like a Roth IRA or a brokerage account is conceptually no different than cash sitting in your bank account if you don't then take that extra step to then invest that money, meaning buying shares of things like stocks or funds. On the Schwab mobile app, you can do this in one of 2 ways. Either click the Trade button at the bottom of the screen or navigate to the Accounts tab, choose an individual investment account, open up the portfolio view, and click on an individual stock or fund that already exists in your portfolio. This screen will pop up and then you can click the Buy button to open up the trade page. Both methods will take you to the exact same place, but doing it through your individual account and selecting a specific security is helpful because it pre-fills the ticker symbol for you. And if you've placed trades before on Schwab.com, this process will look very familiar to what Schwab calls the all-in-one trade ticket. Select your action type, buying or selling, the quantity of shares that you want to trade, the order type. Personally, I always choose market order because I find this to be the simplest, especially for longer term investing, and whether or not you want to reinvest dividends. I always recommend leaving this on. Hit the review order at the bottom of the page, and then a confirmation screen will appear to actually place your order. While the order is still processing, it'll show up in your order status page, which you can access by clicking this button here at the top right. After a couple days, you can verify that the transaction went through successfully by navigating back to the accounts page, opening up your specific investment account, click on the History tab, and you should see this transaction listed as a line item. Next, I want to quickly cover the 2 other buttons listed at the bottom here, Watchlists and Markets. The first time you open the Watchlist page, you should see a screen looking something like this. By default, it'll present a list of the securities that already exist in your portfolio, in my case, in my Roth IRA. The Custom tab just gives you a little bit more detail. You can click these 3 little dots and add individual columns to the view, things like description, volume, 52-week high, etc. Then you've got the heat map view, which is essentially the same data presented on the basic tab, but visualized a little bit differently with color coding. But we've already seen all of this same information several times already on the Schwab app, particularly on the accounts page, so this view is not all that helpful to us. That's why if we navigate back to the list page by clicking the top of the screen here, the really cool feature of the Watchlist page is actually with this button down below called Add List. First, enter a name for the list. For example, I'll call this My Stocks. Then hit the Add Symbol button on the bottom left and type in the ticker symbols for individual stocks or funds that you want to track. Once you're satisfied with your list, click Save, and Schwab will take you into the watch list that you just created. At any time, if you want to add or remove securities from this list, just hit Edit or Add at the bottom of the screen. This feature is really useful if you are slowly expanding your portfolio over time and you want a way to track securities that are not already in your investment portfolio. Then finally, we've got the Markets tab, which focuses more on the performance of the entire stock market and less so on the performance of your individual investment account. The first chart will show you performance over time of specific indices, and clicking View More down below will give you a more detailed list. As a reminder, a stock market index is a conglomerate of all of the large major stocks that make up a particular category of the market, which makes it a really great way to gut check the overall health of the stock market. For example, this S&P 500 index combines and tracks the performance of all 500 of the leading publicly traded US companies over time. Scrolling down, the next section highlights big news articles covering the stock markets. Clicking on any of the reports in this next section will download a PDF of that report to your phone. Then we've got company movers, which lists the individual stocks responsible for up and down movement of the stock market recently for a given sector. Down below, Schwab releases a daily summary of stock market movements in both audio and written format. Then we've got links to the live CNBC broadcasts, which only run when the stock market is open or pretty close to that time. Sectors is interesting because it shows you the percentage growth or decline of specific sectors over the last day, month, or year. Top Mentions brings together specific stocks and news articles to demonstrate the potential impact of that news on that individual stock's value. Then finally, we've got a section summarizing market volatility, which means how stable or unstable the stock market has been recently, and a section on futures, which won't be relevant to the average long-term investor. Now that we've covered everything on the core part of the app, I want to take a second to review the menu at the top left. Most of these items are pretty self-explanatory, but let's look at the settings section down below because some of these options are pretty neat. Stock alerts allow you to set an alert when a specific security reaches a certain price or is referenced in the news. If you set up a stock alert, make sure you go into the alert settings to ensure that you have notifications turned on. Then we've got app settings, which allows you to change the default page that pops up every time you open up the Schwab app. For example, maybe instead of going directly to the accounts page, you want to open up directly into your watch list. It also lets you swap between light and dark mode or just follow your system's default settings. Trade settings are also really helpful. If you've watched a few of my videos, you know I like placing market orders, but Schwab for some reason defaults to limit orders, so the settings on this page allow you to overwrite those default settings. You can also adjust the defaults for all of the other trading settings like buying or selling, the default quantity, and whether or not you want to reinvest dividends. Other things that you can do from the navigation menu include opening a new account, contacting client service, and downloading copies of your statements or tax documents. And anywhere through the app, you can click on this colorful button up here to access the Schwab Assistant, which you can ask basic how-to questions if you can't find certain things or need help with reference articles. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing if you want to see more investing, financial, and Schwab content just like this. And if you learned something from this video, consider dropping a like and leaving a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.